I love to see those dogs.
Yeah, we got 2 dogs by the fire tonight.
Isn't that in the song? I'll light the fire while you...
It's 2 cats in the yard, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
2 dogs by the fire. You sure there's no Crosby, Stills, Nash song where they sound very Jewish like that? You put a log on the fire for hours and hours while I listen to you. Come on. The last thing the world needs is...
Where are you going? I paid good money for that wood.
Oh, our house.
This is my house.
Forget it. It's a very, very, very... It's a very, very, very fine house. I do a whole bit about the Deja Vu album.
Oh, good. Excellent.
I can't tell you how much I love those 2 dogs sitting next to each other, looking into the fire.
Yeah, it's pretty...
It's so cute.
It's picturesque.
Right, but I'd like to think that they're looking like me and you would, as we would nuzzle by the fire.
Do you? I don't see it.
I don't like any kind of jokes about me and you hooking up.
And yet you make them over and over and over again.
Hey, a man can dream.
I gotta eat.
Those are really good. Those you gotta eat. Hey. Why am I yelling when I'm mic'd? Am I yelling more than I normally would yell?
Well, that's hard to say. You have a wide range.
Okay,
from yelling to shouting.
Thank you for telling me before the podcast tonight to stop with the email and get over here. Because you can tell how my mind works.
I can.
Closest to 9, I say...
Now it's time to do some stuff.
Have I done all I can? 8:45. Have I done all I can for Thought Spiral this week?
Stop cramming for my approval.
Well, this was a big week for Andy Kindler. I did editing. I trimmed an AIFF file. That's about all I could do.
You did. That's right. And we'll be hearing the fruits of that labor later.
And the reason why I could trim it is because it's right there in the AIFF file.
Nice.
There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you. Thank you, computers. Finally,
yes.
After all these years, you are becoming, if not user-friendly,
compatible?
No. That's right. Friendly and compatible would go together. Huh?
Sure.
That shows how we're different.
That's the one thing.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Thought Spiral Test Show 94.
Yes.
I think that's the first time I've ever identified the show.
I don't think it is.
This is the first time I've ever felt like I sound like the type of host I would like to... I don't think I would like this voice.
I don't know. Keep roll with it. See what
okay, so, boy, what a week it's been.
It has.
See, it's already over now, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to... when is this coming out? Next Monday? No.
Yes.
I thought we had a couple in the bank.
Nope.
Well, when am I going to use my get out of jail card? And when I say get out of jail, it means it's going to be Monday night, 8:45, one Monday night, and I'm going to realize...
Panic attack.
Panic attack, or worse, oh my God, did I drop, like Doc Ellis, I dropped acid on the night that I didn't remember I was pitching.
Yeah, but it worked out for him.
It did work out for him, although...
Come do the show.
If you ever see it...
I'll talk you through it.
The documentary about him, he was a very cool guy. I don't know what I'm saying, but he had a rough life. He had trouble with drinking, actually.
Yeah.
Towards the end, but I still was able to pitch a perfect game on acid. And not even
was it a perfect game or was it a no-hitter?
It was no-hitter.
Okay.
In fact, it couldn't have been a perfect game because he was wild. Right? I mean, that was one of the things was that he was kind of like wild. So it wouldn't have been a perfect game. But for those who don't know, apparently he didn't know he was going to be pitching in San Diego. I think he was in L.A. And somehow took a plane to get down there. But those are the days when no one ever took acid as a drug to help you play sports.
You wouldn't think. It doesn't seem like a performance enhancer in general.
But back in those days, because I've heard Willie Mays talk. I don't know if I've heard Willie Mays, but they took everything.
Yeah.
That's right.
But it was mostly amphetamines. And mostly things like
amphetamines.
That. Yeah.
I think it was Willie Mays was defending Barry Bonds, was his godfather, by saying when we were young, we would take anything.
Right.
We didn't think about it. But they didn't have that thing where they had. This is scientific proof. This is a scientific way to make you 10% better.
Right.
I mean, that is, luckily I never had much talent where I'd have to be faced with that choice.
Right. But you'd do it. You'd juice.
Well, do you remember Lyle Alzado?
Yes.
That's how I remember steroids first coming into the consciousness, because he had changed his personality completely.
Right.
And so I wish I had more on that.
No, but I remember it the same, that he was the first person where we went, oh, they're doing that and it's bad.
Yeah. But I don't understand. Like, do you think, not to get us off topic, we don't have a topic. Would you say that it's, I can't see how anybody could really say a sport like cycling, you could even enjoy the sport in a way. Because can you be the best in cycling? Hasn't almost every one of them at one point? Maybe the sport itself shouldn't require you to have that much energy.
Like add a couple of more days to the tour.
I don't know, but it's like one of those sports where, is it so boring to bike?
I think it was just easy to cheat.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it got more and more sophisticated over the years, but I think it was just so easy to cheat that they figured, why the hell not?
Well, you notice that tennis players don't generally juice up. Well, they have sometimes.
Right.
But I also think it depends. There's some reason certain sports are more susceptible, or it's more useful for, maybe, right?
Well, what I hear is that, like, one of the large things about it is, especially as guys get older, is that it helps with recovery time.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And that's like, that apparently is the issue as you become an older athlete.
Well, that makes you almost want them to be able to do it.
Well, you know, I don't really care.
Hey, you know what? The last topic I want to have for one of our thought spirals is steroids in sports is getting out of hand.
Well, it's just, you know, now it's just like when you come to the topic of integrity in sports, it's like, all right, where are the boundaries to this discussion?
You are far more cynical than I am, because, you know, you're not one of these people who, would you want to admit to being one of these people? I describe it that way. But you're not one of these people who thinks like football is all fixed.
No.
But some people do.
I don't think I don't believe in the grand league conspiracies where they'll never let this team lose, or they'll never.
But they didn't call it on that New Orleans. They didn't call interference,
right?
Because
I don't
they
believe
wanted
that was conspiratorial.
Yeah, I mean that would make no sense even.
No,
right.
But I do believe that individuals certainly cheat when they can, whenever they see an advantage.
You mean like Tom Brady?
Sure. Let's go with him. No, I don't know. You know, I don't have any data or proof to point at anyone, but it seems like, you know, that is the norm with sports, is if you can get away with getting an edge, you know, you do.
Well, I remember,
and especially in sports like football, where people are so expendable.
True.
And so not on guaranteed contracts, you know.
It's a weird thing. I've never been in a situation like where I could have one of the most famous things is that the famous Robbie Thompson hit.
Right.
That they
were stealing signs.
They really had a camera in the outfield.
Yeah.
And they really were able to steal signs. So apparently Robbie Thompson knew what Ralph Branca was going to throw.
Right.
That kind of stuff is pretty amazing to me. That kind of stuff is like, now it's not like a conspiracy thing, but I can't jibe that with the American ideal of playing fair.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't.
No, I mean, it certainly, it makes you wince just because of, you know,
yeah, baseball
is supposed to be so pure, and, you know, and
yes,
but it's not, you know.
Well, certainly back in the day, for example,
1919,
whenever the day was, but they would load up those balls. I mean, they would put sawdust, whatever they could stick on there, whatever kind of glop.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I mean, and to a certain extent, that's part of the game, you know.
Trying to.
Well, that's why there's 4 umpires there too,
right.
You know.
Yeah, but I would be upset to find out. I'm not a big fan anyway because he's a Yankee, but I have to admire Manuel Rivera. What's his name?
Who?
The Hall of Fame guy, Rivera.
Mariano Rivera.
But it's like, I would be disappointed. I don't like him, but I respect him. But I would be disappointed to find out. Oh yeah, he was carving. You know, he had a little thing in his pocket, and he made a hole in every ball. That was his dude. It would make me upset.
It wouldn't make sense either because he was a fastball dude.
That's yeah. I still can't get that. This is to show you how life, in a way, is very trivial. What you remember, because I still can't get the commercial of Don Drysdale standing on the mound with Vitalis, showing everybody that he couldn't be loading up the ball because look, he uses Vitalis, which is greaseless. Now, why would that be on my deathbed?
That was a commercial?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on my deathbed, that's going to stick with me. Don Drysdale.
I have fucking so many pieces of shit jingles and stuff in my head.
Does that mean but you don't think the theory that the worse the commercial, it's good that it's bad because you won't forget it? That's what they say sometimes. Like, you hate it, but then you're going to buy that product. Well, I don't believe that.
Let me ask you a question. Hey, do you happen to have the number for Empire Carpet?
1-800-357-EMPIRE. Not bad.
That was not right at all.
1-800-3800-EMPIRE.
Okay, all right. So there's a whole.
So you're saying it does work?
Yes.
So you would go buy a mattress from Sit and Sleep, even though you hate the guy going, Harry, Eddie, it's Jimmy, you're killing me with the thing.
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
No.
I can't get it out of my mind.
You're killing me, Larry.
You're killing me, Larry.
But no, see, that annoys me.
What's the most, if you had to say the three things that were most annoying: bad car commercials.
Okay.
Me coming in when you're trying to get the microphones ready and just talking nonstop, and in a way thinking it's helping.
Okay. And what's three? And
three is when when my mind is gone, there's no getting me back because it's sleep related.
Probably that one. Yeah.
I have to admit, I was stretching in the third one.
Right, but the mic test goes away.
Well, also, I've learned now about the mic test.
Yeah.
I never thought about why it'd be like, were you in bands? I was in bands before tuners.
Yeah.
So you couldn't tune if somebody else was playing.
Right.
That's the same type of a thing. You're trying to concentrate. You're the only person.
It's like the guitar player and noodling, kind of, yeah.
The noodling guitar player. I think that lives somewhere in my soul.
The noodling. That kills me.
Well, isn't that the definition of what people think about going down to Guitar Center? Some people still say, it'd be fun. Let's go down to Guitar Center and I can play some of the...
Right, but it's all old guys now who do that.
Yeah, because nobody...
Kids aren't looking for a guitar anymore. That's why Guitar Center's about to go out of business.
Yeah, but I worked for Guitar Center, which I think I brought up before. It was the worst job. I mean, I couldn't make any money out of it, and I thought then they would go out of business. This was back in 1985.
Yeah.
I don't understand what has kept Guitar Center in business all these years. Another topic, maybe for another show, like Marketplace.
Business Week, yes.
Marketplace. They're huge.
I'm Kai Rizdal.
I for like a week or so went around liking that Kai Rizdal, thinking he was cool.
Yeah.
And then someone told me something like he takes his shoes off during the podcast.
And that's it. It just ruined it for me.
It just ruined it for me because then I started to hear everything he was saying is like faux cool. Like he's the kind of guy who goes, hey, I'm Kai Rizdal. And we're back with the numbers. Like that kind of guy, right? Hey. They look like
the worst Kai Rizdal impression I've ever heard.
They look like dooba 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 dooba.
Remix time. Ooh, take it back. Ooh, they look like dress pants.
What the ooh. What do you call it? Remix time?
Yes.
Why would anybody okay, I'm done with that one.
Yeah.
So now we're back.
We're back?
No, we're... I don't know why part of me would want to be a radio person, because it sounds like a terrible job.
It's not so good. It's the same every day.
10 minutes to the thing.
Right, it's exactly that.
And now what's... you know what? Dennis Miller.
There's the thing.
Dennis Miller on the sixes.
Not only do you have to count down to the thing, you got to do the thing.
Hey, cha-cha.
Hey, Miller on the sixes here. Hey, we got a bigger knot here on the 101 than
Gordian.
We have a Gordian knot on the 101.
Hey, stay away from Santa Barbara.
Tell Gordy to come get his knot.
Now, why isn't that better than anything he currently writes? It's better because you are alive. The person writing it was alive.
Right. There's that.
Did we miss a big award show or something since I was? Has anything happened this week besides? I do think that the presidency is crumbling.
I think so.
Is it too late to see me in Vancouver?
Yes. But we did plug it last week.
Oh.
You plugged it as Winnipeg for a while. But
yeah, what is it? People keep saying I'm saying it's Winnipeg.
You did.
Why? Why am I doing?
I don't know. I mean, we corrected it eventually, but.
Oh, no wonder why there's like inside jokes that I don't get because I'm an old man.
Because you don't remember anything that happened, yeah. And it happens a week later that people do the inside jokes. So it's like there's just no hope.
But you were very helpful to me today on the phone to tell me to get over here. That was good.
Thank you. Yes, Andy had decided at a half hour before he was supposed to be here that now it's time to send some emails back to the listeners.
The other thing is I see it as annoying you in a way.
Yeah.
Because it comes in, does it come into your thing while you're doing other stuff?
Yes. But I don't have to, I don't have to react to it right away. But
you I get so excited when Jen Kirkman says something like, oh, my two favorite things are coming out today.
Yeah.
That was so great.
Yeah, no, she's a reassuring listener.
Did you watch?
Knowing that she still listens is reassuring.
It also puts pressure on me because I'm a big fan of hers, so I want to be able to make sure. So you know what it has to be? I want to get to the point where
I assure you, if she's still listening, there's no pressure.
No, I want her to just program the show and just do it for her.
Yeah.
But then that's not what people want surprises. They don't want they turn us on every week because they don't know where we're going to spiral to.
Exactly. It's like a roller coaster ride.
Of some type.
A flat roller coaster. Well, a tram, really.
All right. Now, I don't know why I can never feel... Ask me if I'm comfortable. I'm making that something. I don't know why I can't feel comfortable. I feel like when we were at the table, I was more locked in, but I still feel this is a better area.
All right. Well, this is the first week that we're here voluntarily.
Oh.
No one in the guest room tonight.
Oh, I see. I think I finally figured out that if someone was in the guest room, it would be louder in that area.
Yes.
And that was the reason why you were doing it.
I was trying to put a little space between us and the guest room, yes.
Is this why I would never be Columbo or detective? I can't put things together?
That's probably, don't put that on your application. Maybe you'll get into school.
So what else is in the news? I hate to say that, but anything exciting happened to you? First of all, I know that you hate to do it, and that's why I like to ask.
Yeah.
Back update.
Back update?
Your back update. How's the
back? Oh, back. I thought it was backup date is what you were going for. My back is, it's not promising. I've scheduled yet another MRI, and then another doctor's appointment soon after it. I suspect it's all heading towards him going, yep, next surgery. And me going, I don't know if I want to do the next surgery.
Well, first of all, no one should ever be able to describe as a surgery by saying, next time I'll go through the front.
Right, exactly.
I mean, you dealt with that information, okay? That would have been right away. Whoa. All right. There are different ways to get to that area?
Yeah.
What is Allison? Does Allison have a weighing in on it, or what does she think?
When we talked about it tonight, she was kind of like, yeah, I don't know if you want to do another thing either. But I think it was her being selfish, really. I don't think she wanted to go through me having another surgery.
That's the kind of thing. If we were on MSNBC now, I go, that's quite a strong accusation.
I'm just,
Well, then let me ask you a follow-up. Let me follow up, as they say.
Okay.
Without pushing back.
Please push back if you'd like to.
That feeling you had where you took a long walk, which I don't remember where it was, and you felt it was on the movie thing, maybe.
Well, I think the thing that happened on the movie was I was on my feet all day, every day.
That was good for it.
Which was good for it.
Oh.
It was, because it wasn't getting the compression of sitting in a chair for...
I see. Yeah.
So I did have, I think, an extended range when I was standing all day, but that's not really a practical solution.
Yes, it is if you get one of those desks.
Yeah, but then I'm unhappy.
Well, why would someone, you have a home office, right?
I do.
So then there would really be no reason to have, it would be weird to have a variable desk here.
No, I mean, I've thought of it, and I've actually worked that way at times.
Where you're standing and, yeah.
I have put the old laptop on the box thing and done that, and I just don't, it's not practical for me in the long haul.
Yeah, because, I mean, how often do you putting hours into the writing? I'm just kidding. I was going to make a joke about how...
And I do spend hours on working, but it's total stop and start.
Right.
If I'm writing a script, it's not like type,
I hope that's not what it is, because that's...
I mean, I might say that to myself. Come on, type. But so there's just a lot of.
It's
not a good solution. Is what I'm saying.
So we'll have to wait. We'll have to have a wait and see attitude with this thing, with whether to do something on your back. But
okay,
and don't whatever you do, don't go anywhere without me.
I was about to say you're including yourself in my decision-making loop, and I'm not sure I can live up to that.
Every day I walk around the block. I walk near your house almost every day.
Yeah,
and every day I'm surprised again by where it's located.
My house?
Yeah. Because I go, oh no, there's no way you pass this over before you get to that, and I'm inevitably wrong.
Wow!
Not only am I not
that's
Magellan,
every day for 3 years. We're talking people.
Yeah, 4 years. Not only am I not Magellan, I mean it's like I'm not. Something is off. So I don't know if you have any surveying projects coming up, but it seems to me that when you make the thing down the one street, it looks really short. But now I drive anyway, so. But in the old days, that was another reason why in the old days, how late was I was also how late I thought the walk would be.
Okay.
Well, and then I would go, where's the house? Please not only take this part out.
I was about to say, that might be the most worthless moment ever.
Yeah, please take it out. Please take it out or put it on a bonus disc.
I think I might have to highlight it. I might have to I might have to give it theme music.
You know what? I couldn't get out. I couldn't get out of it. It wasn't like I lost complete sight of what I was trying to say, right. But pretty much.
You knew it wasn't interesting, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't watch the movie this week. I feel bad about
I watched half of it, and then you called and said, "Have you watched the movie?"
I don't think I called, but
you texted.
You implied you inferred that.
I have the voice control on my text, so that when your texts come in, it does it in your voice.
Well, you can't get a regular copy, even.
No. I mean, you can get I think there's a Criterion edition of it.
Oh, okay.
And a couple of nice viewers actually sent files, but I couldn't open the file.
Oh, okay. Having watched a half of it, should we complete the project?
It's up to you. I mean, they aren't great. It's a little hard to watch just because it's YouTube.
I don't want to watch it. I don't want to. We'll have to I don't want I certainly don't want the listeners to have to listen to us figure it out.
Right. And and it's not that accessible for people to watch, so we might be worth bailing on.
I think we should bail on.
But it was good. It is quite good, and it's beautifully shot, and it's high quality Hitchcock.
Yeah.
But it's
Criterion does every Christmas. I buy Bruce, my manager, presents from the Criterion.
Yeah.
Collection because I
really you buy people presents at Christmas, huh?
Well,
people who are close to you. I understand. Yeah.
No, this is just people I really care about.
All right, okay.
Now wait a second. Now you almost had me. Actually, you did have me. You got me because you could get me with anything. Yes. I didn't send out cards this year because of you.
I think, and don't you feel good about it?
I feel good about it.
Has there been any ramifications or blowback?
I don't think these people like me who I was sending cards to. I got to get on a different list.
Come on, that was good advice. That was strong advice.
It was good advice. I don't feel like I was like better about myself. No, I do because I couldn't have done it. Okay, but you're not really. No. Bruce has come over. Bruce and Bill Kaufman have come over on Christmas Eve, I think, for the last 30 years, except for 1 year.
Yeah.
So I've always
you've given him 30 presents. Wow.
What's that?
So you've given him 30 presents.
So I give him. We do like a birthday. He's like a young kid at heart, Bruce. So we've always celebrated birthdays and Christmas with him.
Yeah.
But again, it's a very close friend. He's someone I care. There's a difference between people you know and people you care about.
Right, I understand.
Who do you exchange presents with on the holidays?
I don't know. It's not a big, wide range, really. It's everyone in the house.
What do you mean in the house? There's only one person currently in the house.
No, well, there's my wife, and then my kid comes over.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right. Do you remember when your kid...
occasionally with friends, with real friends.
Do you remember when Elon was young enough to believe in Santa Claus, or no?
No, because he was raised Jewish.
Everything It's unbelievable to me that
there was still Christmas, but there was never. I don't think there was ever Santa in the paradigm.
But it's so weird to me that I relate everything to my predicament of my mother saying, "Once you," I said, "Mom, if I put up the stocking, will Santa fill it up? Give it a shot." Everything in my life is based on that prank. I guess my mother thought it was a prank.
Yeah.
So
nothing.
What's that?
So nothing.
So nothing.
Okay.
So I just assume you know that story, right? It's one of my favorite. I mean, it's one of the worst things that ever happened. But so I assume that I think everyone should be allowed to believe in Santa. It seems like Santa Claus should be more than a religion, but I don't know. What do you want me to do?
Did you hear the Trump conversation with the 7-year-old? So you still believe in Santa? It's 7. You're 7, so that's borderline, right?
Where was this?
This is on Christmas when he and Melania were talking to little Republican children around the country.
That is the most disgusting.
So great.
Oh, God. Every time they keep showing more footage from him when he did a press conference last week or whatever, and the things that he says, like the Japanese minister is going to recommend him for Nobel Peace Prize.
Right. He did, because the White House requested that he did.
That guy sent in a thing, please give...
Yeah, he nominated him for a Nobel Peace Prize because, as the Japanese media reported, because Trump asked him to.
Now you have to me, that's an example of Japanese sense of humor.
Did you not watch that press conference for the...
No.
Oh, my
no.
God. It was...
I just watched clips of it. It was awful, right?
It was an amazing piece of theater.
When he says to that one reporter, come on. That guy, I like that guy. Sit down.
Jim Sciutto?
No, it's an independent guy. And then sit down. He wanted him to hurry up with the question.
Oh, right. Oh, it was good. It was good.
And it's
so. Let's settle right now what we're going to watch next week. Even though.
Okay. Okay.
You had brought up the Anderson tapes at one point, and someone wrote in and really heavily endorsed the Anderson tapes. I think it's on Amazon. We've talked Boys from Brazil, another Nazi thing.
Yeah, I was going to go with Boys from Brazil.
Yeah,
but I'll go with the other thing. You saw Boys from Brazil
years ago. I can't. I just remember the sort of iconography of it more than the movie. I'm more interested in the Anderson tapes.
Okay.
But let's see.
What? I think I would say that I'd like to go. You put a compression filter on this, right? Speed it up.
Yeah.
Do you choose that on any of your You don't listen to as many podcasts as I do, but I never do a speed up thing. Take out the silences.
Oh, do the 1.5 times.
They have all kinds of stuff. Take out the silence. Remove nuance.
It's on Amazon Prime, but it's only for rent.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Well, is that a Jewish thing? A Jewish crack?
I'm just saying,
And it's called the Andersonville?
The Anderson tapes.
Let's do it.
When Duke Anderson, Sean Connery, gets out of the cooler, he discovers his mother Lode and his rich girlfriend's, Diane Cannon, ritzy apartment building. With help from a safecracker, Christopher Walken, a decorator, and a thug, Duke might be able to pull off the greatest heist yet. What he doesn't know is that someone is watching his every move and beating him at his own game.
I've never heard this movie.
1971. Sidney Lumet.
I like him a lot.
So, I've only heard of it. I've heard it's good. But I've never seen it.
Okay, that's what we're going to do. And folks, I don't want you to, spoiler alert, we're going to do it. So thank God you said this morning that you'd only watched half of it. You gave me an out.
It was this afternoon, too, yeah.
This afternoon. Yeah. Well, I like to get an early start on the podcast. Did you have a President's Day specifically themed bash?
Yes, of course. I mean, Chester Arthur, flavored. But
Chester Arthur used to be code that I would ask my friends when they went on a date. Did you instead of saying, which would have been crude, did you feel her up? I said, did you do a Chester Arthur thing? Now, with your generation, my generation would say, did you cop a feel? Did you feel her up? I'm not proud of that, Linda.
My generation didn't ask.
No, but how'd you...
we were a little more couth.
You mean you didn't talk about it?
I didn't know. I don't recall ever quizzing anybody about where they got on their.
Well, my childhood was like.
I'm sure people bragged. I remember that. But.
I was like Summer of 42. That's all we talked about.
Yeah.
If I remember that movie correctly, don't they talk about sex the whole time? What's the movie where he actually puts his hand in the popcorn and it's a breast or it's a penis? It's one of those movies. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those famous movies. It's either The Last Picture Show, which I imagine is not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I know. You know what? Here's the thing. There's an equal amount when you don't want to know something that is also related to the fact that it doesn't interest you, which I respect.
Well, I just don't want to spend 30 seconds of hamanam. Was it? Was it? Was it?
Are there some people go, that's the only thing they like about the show is the fumfering?
No, just you.
Oh, man.
What did I watch? I watched a movie I hadn't seen in a very long time, Into the Night. Do you remember that movie?
I know the name. What was that about?
John Landis sort of thriller comedy with Michelle Pfeiffer and Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, I don't know this movie. And is it good? It's good?
It's okay. It's not good, but it's a good watch. If that makes any sense.
It's a good, like the New York Times used to say, good of its kind, when they would say, in the genre.
You know, did you ever see Something Wild?
Yes, that movie I thought was amazing.
It's very similar, and it's dynamic with the sort of the middle-aged or, dissatisfied guy meets the wild woman and gets taken on a
and
adventure.
Something Wild was with the Chantex guy, right?
No. Well, yes, it was. Yes, he was the villain. I was thinking of Jeff Daniels, who was the...
Which one is he in? Oh, he's the guy who is scared. I could see his face scared of... Right now, I could see what his face was like when it was scared.
Yeah.
I could have played those roles of being frightened.
At least the scared part. Bring in the fright double.
Did you hear that boom? That's from your computer. Okay, I just want to make sure that no sound that's happening is because of me.
What boom?
I heard like a... mail's in, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
It's impossible, according to scientists, it is impossible to turn off all your notifications because of the way the system is set up. I have one notification that comes in, and I can't figure out how to turn it off.
Yeah.
And it's about the new Apple 9, I don't even know what, it doesn't interest me. It's like Wired. It's not Wired, it's Gizmo. So they go, so every once in a while, I think there's a breaking news thing. Like the iPhone 10 it's not going to happen. Something like that.
Right.
Along those lines. We haven't done 2 hours yet, have we? I thought we would get into the swing of things tonight.
Yeah.
I guess we're in the swing of things. I guess I don't feel like we are. I know it's the beginning of the year. I feel like we're all living.
We didn't have a fight last week. That's what it's missing.
Oh, that's right. People seem to enjoy the fights in the letters to the editor.
Yeah.
No, we haven't had a fight. Although a letter, other people, C.J. Wallace is the one who noticed. I didn't know this. Is that he started the rumor, which might not be a true rumor.
Yeah.
That Doug Benson doesn't inhale.
Right.
And then I noticed another listener.
Someone wrote in
and said that.
Yeah.
So it really starts to make me think. I got nothing on that.
No,
I felt bad.
Okay.
Anything exciting happened in?
Let's see. I had lunch today with David Hayden Jones.
Oh yes, he's in our movie.
He is in our movie.
And did you know him before the movie?
I did not.
Wow, you're the type of person who gets friendly with the people and sees them back in L.A.
Yes.
Have you seen Paula?
Only when we shot a couple weeks ago. But no, I'm the kind. I have become the kind of person who doesn't loosely say, "Let's have coffee" or "Let's have lunch."
Right.
I'm very fastidious about following up on those, just so I won't be that guy who just says it.
Oh, yeah. Why are you looking at me intently that way?
Because you're the only other person in the room.
Not because I'm guilty of that?
No, there was no subtext.
No, but I could feel myself overpromised to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was it? Where'd you go?
We went to Blue Jam.
Did you have the usual?
No, I had the What did I?
Oh, you don't have that anyway.
I had Kumail's breakfast, I think, which is like a eggy pasta-y thingy.
He has a named after him at the Blue Jam? No.
Not Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh, it's just Kumail's?
Or Kamal's or Kumail. Yeah.
I'm very confused.
It's a guy who works there.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. No, I've only had that one thing all the time.
That
pretty
French
much.
Toast thing?
The French toast thing with fruit. I'm a creature of habit. And were there any luminaries? Any Valley luminaries?
Yeah, me and David Hayden Jones were there.
Right, but I'm saying, like, did anybody stop by the table? Hey,
No.
Damn it.
The waiter.
Did you have French press?
I did.
That's good. It's the only time I'll have French press.
And it seems as if they didn't. They waited backstage with it and then just brought it to the table and plunged it, as opposed to giving you the timer.
Oh, I think they don't have a consistent system for that. I don't know what I'm saying. The picture that sticks in my mind, though, is that picture of Trump getting at the omelet bar. I can't get it out of my mind.
Yeah.
Like, is that a fake picture?
No, it's a real picture.
So that's what you pay for when you pay in Mar-a-Lago?
A couple $100,000 a year.
And for these horrible, disgusting-looking rooms?
Yeah. With Trump memorabilia everywhere.
And Trump walks through in the... Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I don't know why I ever would...
That's the high life, my friend.
Wouldn't you think that nobody would have ever bought into his garbage? It's never been like, I don't like Trump, but you got to go to one of his buildings. They're fantastic.
Right.
There's nothing truly positive like you hear about the Virgin Atlantic guy or real rich guys.
Well,
who have
but
done
clearly
stuff.
he has tapped into some sort of fucking trashy aesthetic that people
I know
equate with wealth.
I can't deny it, but it's like it's so. I think that I really did make a mistake.
It is the first thought theater of wealth.
Yeah, look at the size.
Hey, it's gold, okay?
It's gold.
Hello, ka-ching.
He also, I think, is one of these people who thinks he does have an eye. Probably.
Absolutely.
That looks awful.
Well, he's infallible. His taste is impeccable. His judgment, bulletproof. His sense of humor, sterling. His intellect can't be topped.
The only thing that he has is
his dick, mushroom shaped. The best mushrooms.
He has every 1 in 30 things he says could be funny if he wasn't so evil.
It's more than that. If you take, I mean, if you go, I mean, if you remove yourself from the human race and just watch this shit, it's fucking hilarious every day. It really is. I mean, it is unbelievable satire being played out as reality.
Well, I'm not the first person who's pointed this out.
It's satire being played for reality.
Right. But I don't know if I'm not the first person to point this out, but I noticed that his weakness as a criminal is he will tell you exactly.
Yes.
He always tells you exactly what he's not supposed to tell you.
It's like a guy holding a poker hand with the numbers out.
That's right.
Yeah. But that's what makes it more infuriating.
Yeah, because he's getting away with it or not getting away with it.
Yeah, because we're watching, it's a slow motion train crash. It's like, yep, seeing every fucking thing happen, and why isn't anyone coming and putting him in handcuffs?
Well, that does worry me. I'm trying not to focus on it. It's like, in the meantime, it looks like he's going to go soon, but it hasn't happened yet.
No, it hasn't.
And you were saying, you called me today, you were so excited that Bernie entered. And
yes.
You were like, Andy, did you get it? You woke me up, actually.
Right.
So you see him? He's on TV.
Get on board. Get on board the train, Andy. Train's leaving the station.
Bernie's not going to get it, is he? We don't know.
No, I don't think so. I haven't backed my horse yet. I mean, I don't think my horse is going to be Bernie, but it really bothers me that he's not a Democrat.
It does.
Yeah.
It bothers me because, in fact, that bothered me when he first started running, was because the idea that your party's always been horrible and I'm doing you a favor by coming in. And also, the thing that bothers me is I don't really completely know what pure socialism would look like. I understand there's socialism involved in different systems that we have. So the fact that he's never explained, he's never made an attempt to say why he's a democratic socialist. Like, I don't care about like a right-wing person would care about it. I just don't understand I've never heard him say what it stands for.
Well, I mean, his platform as outlined now is free college, free Medicare for all, and one more big freebie thing. Oops. See, I did Rick Perry there.
Yeah. And I'm not, and I think the free college, it's like anything. Oh, that sounds good, but it's not going to I don't know. I don't even know if it would be good, free college.
I think making community college free.
Yeah. Which it kind of should have always been in a way.
Kind of, but
like, it's
it's pretty fucking accessible as it is. But, but, I have no problem with making community college free. I don't think that society necessarily has to provide free college for people. I think, I believe that those first 2 years of community college are a good bridge from high school to the world.
Right.
And it can serve people in a lot of different ways. But a 4-year, I think a 4-year college, you should make it highly accessible.
Accessible, right. Yeah, it shouldn't be.
And I don't, and I think even the best schools, I think it's completely unreasonable that a 4-year education is going to cost you
$160,000
a year. I mean, it's
what?
Things are going to.
I don't even know how high.
Like Ivy League educations are hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, so that's like it. But the thing is, he's approaching a thing where the thing that always bothered me about him was like Obama could not get one Republican vote. He had to use reconciliation. He had to sweat to get any kind of healthcare change.
Right.
And Bernie Sanders, he entered the contest last time with Obama wasn't able to do it. Obama wasn't able to do it, as if he would have been able to do it. So that's what what I object to him is like, yeah, it all sounds nice,
right.
but what's doable and what's practical?
Well, that's the Amy Klobuchar approach,
right? But I'm not saying I'm being like an old moderate I just think I don't even know if of all the things that was presented to me, free college would not be the first thing I would be thinking about. Like affordable college.
Yeah, and I think I agree with that, and I think I mean, honestly, from where I sit, the most important thing is fucking undoing all the shit that Trump has done first. Getting our environmental regulations back, getting our country back into the international climate accords,
right?
Signing back on to the Iran thing.
We're back. We're sorry. Yeah,
but I think. I think it's totally impractical in this climate to go in with promises of those things. I think it is something, and I don't know how you do that in a campaign. I don't know how you say incrementalism, it's not really very inspiring.
One step at a time.
But realistically, you could choose one of those things as part of your as the socialist side of the spectrum agenda. But I think if that's your whole agenda is all these completely game-changing, economy-changing, tax-changing things, then you end up getting none of that because there's going to be so much resistance.
Yeah.
And so easy to say communist, socialist,
right.
From the other side. I think healthcare, Medicare for all is a practical thing because there is an infrastructure in place.
Right. As long as it's changed.
Yeah. Obviously we're not, we're not ready to just flip the switch and go, okay, everyone jump on in. But people now, I think the mood in the country because of Obamacare, people are more in that thing of like, they see the economics of it more. It's more naked now. It's not built into everyone's job.
Yes, that's for sure.
People know how much of their income goes towards this.
And that they didn't seem to know that when Obama was even. He was like, I think it was the best thing in the world that he did it, even though it may have screwed up other things that he was trying to do. But if it wasn't for him, nobody would be. He changed the whole plan by making it. Who in this country doesn't know what pre-existing conditions means now?
Right.
Nobody knew what that meant in 2008. I mean, not nobody.
No,
but most people didn't.
Only the people who are getting fucked by it at that moment.
Or lifetime limits.
Might get fucked by it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, lives were absolutely saved because of the lifetime limits things and all these crazy, you have too many horrible diseases.
So I feel like that's the issue that people can connect with now and know that the system is broken and know that we're kind of in between right now. You know? So I think, obviously it's hard to get anything done in a major way in this country right now, but that's the thing that will help the most people and I think will bring security to the most people's lives.
Well, I guess also I never felt the Bernie burn or whatever, so I never can really say like, oh, it just didn't do it for me.
No, I never genuinely liked him either,
It's a terrible lineup last time in terms of Hillary. I mean, I get I don't want to get into it. I wanted her to win, etc. But that Walter O'Malley, or not Walter O'Malley, there was like one other guy. There was like nobody running.
There was two other lightweights,
and they were and they were just like. So this could be very exciting, maybe.
I'm very excited. I mean, I think there's at least a crop of people who are the kind of people who should be running for president right now, with Kamala Harris and Cory Booker and Amy Klobuchar and. Yeah. And then there's Biden, who I don't know. It's not.
I'm very worried that Biden will try and jump in.
I think he probably will.
He has so much baggage, Biden, that people don't even remember.
Yeah.
Anita Hill and all these kind of. I mean, I like him. I think he was a good vice president.
And rolls and rolls of creepy, touchy-feely moments that he has with people.
Yeah, but then I think it's fine. It's just Joe Biden.
Right.
That's fine. That's no problem.
It felt to me, I mean, the switch to Obama felt like such a generational change, and the switch back to Trump felt like such a step backwards in that regard.
Like a total reaction,
And I mean, yes, I definitely think it's time to move away from old white men in this country, but it's just time for a generational switch,
and I'm proud of myself because I'm always proud of myself when I predict something that goes right, and I hold it over people's heads. But I was arguing that Pelosi was perfect, and I was arguing, not what everybody was saying, but like Tip O'Neill, it's like the great House speakers are not necessarily people who are the best speech makers, they're really the people who know how to work the system the best.
Yeah, she's a great stateswoman.
And look what she did with healthcare. There would have been no healthcare without her.
Yeah. No, she knows how to do it. And Trump is scared of her.
It's so good.
It is so good.
It is like a perfect villain for him. Because a woman who he can't believe is getting over on him.
Right. But he also respects her, you can tell.
Does he respect anybody?
I think so. Yeah, Putin.
That's the other thing. When they say what do they say, he's an asset? I think he is a Russian asset. But he's not a Russian asset in the sense that they have to tell him what to do. They just direct him what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like that.
He's fucking easier to operate than TiVo. If
That's true.
You have to act like you like him. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
So you mean? Are you saying that even like a North Korean dictator who viciously has murdered people in his own family, even he could be liked by a guy like Trump?
Yep.
Just because Trump, he liked Trump?
Because he wrote a nice letter. You don't have to like him. You just have to act like you like him. Oh, Lordy.
I don't know why I felt like sighing at that particular moment. I shouldn't have sighed.
No.
Because we were doing so well.
So you're off to Vancouver this weekend, right?
Yes, I'm very, it's cold up there.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to going. I'm trying to do this thing where, I don't dread things.
That's good.
And, that's what I'm dealing with in therapy. It's like, so much of what bothers me is plain, unacknowledged anxiety or acknowledged anxiety.
Right.
But the thing that I'm missing is, why are you so anxious? And that's what I'm trying to get into. Why is it, like I'll say, I'm excited about this Vancouver trip, but they'll get wound up for it in a weird way.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I want to get up every day, enjoy every day, I mean, it's a dream, but try to get more comfortable with the day-to-day things. I know it sounds cliche or whatever, but that's what I'm working on. And 40 milligrams, I think we all think.
I think
good.
That's the shit, man. I think so.
Yeah.
No, I think, I mean, I have a lot of dread. Allison and I both deal with dread all the time.
Oh, okay.
But it's less, it's not anxiety driven so much as
fear.
No, like laziness.
How do you mean?
It's more just like, oh, I got to do that thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's not what's going to go wrong. What's going to go wrong is I have to do it. That's
right. But I have this pre-wired thing that's actually against my natural nature that things are going to go wrong that I got from my family.
Right.
You're going to fuck it. And also my family, very big. Like that time I said, oh, you make a mistake. And you said, what mistake did I make? Because you didn't turn the thing on. It's like, that's very important in my family. Somebody in every argument had to be blamed.
Yeah. That was like a running joke in our family about other people in our family. Step one, assign blame. But yeah, I mean, you ultimately it's just you just have to have the conversation. I think it's always about having that other voice to counterpoint.
Yeah.
Like I just had it naturally in my life with my parents because my mom was the worst case scenario stylist. She could come up with any possible thing that could go wrong. And my dad was the total play the cards as they're dealt guy, just like, and so I always have those two voices in my head of this will happen. No, it'll be fine. This will happen. No, it'll be fine, And I tend to believe the latter voice more,
Well, the difference in your family and my family is that in my family, we were all tied to what mood my mom would be in. It was like,
right.
Whatever mood it wasn't like my dad was more upbeat, which was fun. But whatever she was worried about, we took it as something that we caused.
Right. Yeah, we didn't have that.
You didn't have that,
we didn't
right?
have that codependency in our house. No, we just made fun of my mom.
So your mom wouldn't say if you fucked up or quote fucked up, nice going. Why are you doing this to me?
No, she would tell me why I'm okay.
Oh,
she would. And how she'll love me no matter what.
Oh, come on. This is great. You got a good thing going. Why did you blow it?
Yeah, I killed her. I shouldn't have killed her.
No, shh. I said never say shh. Never say that unless you want to go and we could do a staircase thing.
We go home?
Yeah, the staircase where the guy, it's that series about the guy who twice in his life, his wives have died next to the pool.
Yeah.
Or fell down the staircase.
Uh-huh.
And so you have to, it seems a little odd. Does it ring a bell to you?
Not really.
Oh, okay. It's called The Staircase.
Okay.
It's on every, what? You mean you're not glued to investigation discovery?
I don't go searching for crime. I really don't.
You don't know that there's not just a Dateline, but there's also Dateline Extra, Dateline on ID, Dateline on Own?
Is there Dateline on Own as well?
Yeah, there is. And those jobs, the easiest jobs in the world. I wish I could get that job. Like Lester Holt's in a vest and he introduces the thing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, just the post-package introduction thing?
Yes.
Yeah, but you have to be in the thing.
Right. You just can't apply for that job specifically.
Exactly.
I want to apply for the job.
I'd like to be the Alistair Cook of Dateline.
No, we have that assigned to... Well, how did Lester Holt get that?
He's Lester Holt.
Holt? And the other guy who I do not enjoy him on the news is Craig Melbourne? He's in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
But he's very, very pushy in the morning. But he's not so bad. But I don't mind him saying things were terrible in this town because this thing happened, and let's go watch somebody else. And now we go to Josh Mankiewicz or Keith. Is it Keith Gibson? No, somebody Gibson.
I don't know. You're the one who watches it hours and hours.
Not just hours and hours. Not just hours and hours. I've watched Datelines 2 or 3 times through and then realized I'd seen him before.
Yeah.
And then the other rhythm.
That's not really surprising.
And then the other thing I would get into, as I told you before, was I would get into a forensic files thing.
Yeah.
And those are so great, but will drive you crazy after 2 hours because they're a half hour long. So they move it along, and it just, after 4 episodes, that's about all I can take. But I love it. Till then.
That's good.
It is good, but don't you think I should expand my horizons in some way?
Yeah. I mean, I think I would, recommend entertaining things, but that's okay.
That's true. And along those lines, I am a big fan of this podcast. I've brought it up before. It's called Love and Radio, and yes. I am just obsessed with it. And it's really pretty incredible. And this episode about a woman who had a near-death experience, and it's a true story. It's like a true story. Like I looked it up, and it's like one of the few near-death experiences where it seems like everything.
Is it like This American Life style? It is a
little bit like This American Life. But the thing that's great about Love and Radio is it's always bizarre. There's always like a bizarre. I don't want to say bizarre, but like they have a secrets hotline. There's always something a little bit dangerous about it, or there's a sexual thing, or there's a weird, or there's weird things that happen. Slightly twisted, but not like not like when they advertise on Investigation Discovery. When ladies kill, they get into it. Like they try and tease you into watch the ladies go crazy.
Right.
It's not like that. It's always interesting. And this podcast, Love and Radio, has been around since 2006.
Wow.
I didn't even know it's amazing to me to believe that there were podcasts. I guess they were. When did they start? In the late 90s, maybe? But I don't think of it that way.
No, it was
2000s.
Yeah.
What were we doing in 2006 that we were not doing a?
I think I was earning back then. I can't remember anymore.
But I keep forgetting. You don't listen to a lot, or you don't listen to that many?
I don't listen to that many.
Yeah.
I tend to use them to fall asleep too. So I don't need that many.
Well,
all right, we've hit a break.
I can tell that. I can tell that.
Okay, so this week, thanks to your AIFF editing, we have a little piece of Andy Kindler stand-up for the break.
Why do I feel too proud that I did that one edit?
I feel like no, it was. I have to say, in the scheme of things,
it wasn't a bad thing.
It was. Hey, helpful. Andy, could you send me a chunk of stand-up? Yes, I will. And then an hour later, still working on it. I said, great. Then a couple minutes later, I got the thing. Come on. Come on. I feel perfectly great about that.
That's good,
and it's worth discussing.
Beautiful. So this is now. I don't know if we need to mention where it's from because I don't want them suing us. Where I taped it.
I don't. Why would they sue you?
Well, years ago when I checked into this thing, they say if you don't mention the place,
you're
not really using the place to promote yourself.
Right.
I'm just worried when we get that big Spotify deal. That's all I care about.
Gotcha.
But do you know Ernst Lubitsch?
Yes.
What if he had a bar?
That'll make sense to 4 people. So this is your set from just this week, fresh.
Is it the one chunk all the way? Yeah. One chunk. I'm very excited about it. The sound, at the beginning of it, the sound is off because I moved my microphone from one thing to another. There's just a tape off of my iPhone, which is on stage with me, so you won't get the audience mix.
That's what we did last week, too. So.
Oh, okay, good.
That's our standard.
I'm very excited. I think is this the first time I've ever supplied anything for a break?
I think it is. Oh, no. You brought in...
Karen? No.
Not Karen. You brought in the Jack Temkin stuff.
Oh, yes. For 2 weeks, it seemed like I was getting my old music going.
That's right. But now we've abandoned music for stand-up, just like in your life.
Anybody have sleep apnea like me? Anybody have take a Victoza, shoot up Victoza? I shoot up Victoza. None of this is funny, but it sets the stage for hilarity, doesn't it? I have sleep apnea. Deal with it, LA. I know you don't want to hear about it. You don't want to hear my edgy sleep apnea chunk I'm afraid of. Not as funny as my hilarious colonoscopy bit. Hey, colonoscopy. Pretty disgusting. Boom. That's all I remember. From the bit. Hey, colonoscopy. Certainly something you wouldn't want to hear about in a comedy club. Bad enough to go through it on your own. thank you. Some people are realizing how funny maybe I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm headlining the show. The Sunday Night Lubitsch show. I thought it was the vigil. I have sleep apnea, and I had to order a CPAP machine. A lot of times I like to start the jokes by saying 15 to 20 times the title of the bit. I have a CPAP machine. Let's begin again. So, the commenting is part of the act, folks, if you're thinking that I'm having a breakdown. No, this is my patented style that's kept me below the radar for the last 35 years. This is the style I settled on. My manager said, "You sure you don't want to, have an act?" I said, "No, let me continue talking about words I bring up. Who needs an act? When I can do my stream of self-conscious see, I can't even finish that. I didn't say I was doing an improv. Yes, and I'm not. No, and I hate improv. Yes, and I prefer if you prepared a bit. No, and why don't you stay at home, come up with ideas. Write it down instead of asking us for occupations at the club. This is my anti-improv bit, folks. You people can't deal with it, but it's so not edgy. And you don't know what to do with it. So I had to have a CPAP machine, but first I ordered a CPAC machine, which is the Conservative Political Action Committee, and they sent me a machine. I used it for 3 days. All I noticed was that my breathing got racist. The Republicans are racist, you know, right? That's how they got Trump. What, are you kidding me? Think they didn't start a long time ago? You think they just ended up being racist as a joke? No, that's their hook. That's their wheelhouse. Trump is going to put us all in Trumpcentration camps, the greatest concentration camps ever made. I will get the Jews to pay for the camps. So it's a commentary, folks. Remember he said the Mexicans to pay for the camps? Well, I said the Jews. Look at people. People feel comfortable during my act of looking at things on their phone. I encourage folks. There's no reason why my act needs to soak up all of your energy tonight. There's so many different things you could be doing while you're watching. I always say to people during my acts, time to balance a checkbook. Time to update those apps. Sometimes people will Google nearest comedy club during my set. Nearest comedy club. Come on, folks. That's an actual joke. The rest of the stuff, not so much. But it's not easy having. I stop breathing 70 times a minute. You think that's easy? No, not a minute. That'd be worse. I'd be dead. 70 times a minute. It would have come up before my 60s. How old is he? Why is he doing comedy? You too can be in the situation I'm in. Self-sabotage, just the right amount of self-sabotage, hiding in your house, and blowing it when any opportunity comes. John Nicholson said, "Be prepared, you'll get your shot." I say, "Be prepared, you will blow it." You're going to choke, and you'll wonder forever what might have been. That's a bit. That's a bit. I love show business. How can you not? Look at this. Look at that. I've never sold out. I'm no sellout, literally. I've never sold out a show in my life. And that's how I advertise. Hey, come on down and watch me in an uncluttered atmosphere. Take 7 or 8 seats.
65 degrees here, beautiful sun. That's Andy Kindler with
Funny on the Fly.
With stream of self-consciousness.
Pretty good. I heard that guy doesn't like Jay Leno.
Dude looks like a lady.
Dude looks like a lady.
Well, that was funny. I laughed aloud, even with you here.
Yes, and I'm very proud that I didn't look at you like during it.
You weren't doing that.
It's hard not to in a way.
It's a little hard, yeah.
Like, or if I pointed to my head during a thing.
And you never went, go back. You didn't do that. That was good.
It's longer than I thought it was. It just shows you like it's 4 minutes. It's longer than I thought it was.
Yeah.
And it's long enough. The thing is, no, I was happy because there was that bit I was working on there at the. See, now I forgot it already, but I was been working on that bit. I was changing it at the end. I don't know what I'm saying. I can't remember what the bit was now. But I like to hear. So that's a bit I've done before.
Yeah.
So I do. It's fun for me to hear it myself, even.
Wow.
I don't know what I'm saying.
But at least you brought a lot of insight to the table.
Well, there's nothing I can say. It's like how much can you?
It speaks for itself.
But when I listened,
it speaks for itself.
Well, that was a 20-minute set. When I listened back to it,
yeah,
I thought it was a better set. Not a better set. It felt great all the way through when I was doing it.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of dead spots, so that's also a good thing to know.
Right.
Not to put myself down, but it's don't get too happy.
No, the tail of the tape is often disappointing.
Yes, that's true.
It's because you feel like you've hit. Because the truth is, it's like when you're in a room, you know how the room was all night,
right?
And you calibrate yourself to that audience, so that doing well with that small audience, or what, I don't know how many people were there, but I mean,
20,
I don't,
30.
Yeah, I don't even mean that small audience, but the audience in that room.
Yeah.
You know what good is, and sometimes it's not the same as in another room or in another night. Yeah,
it usually doesn't feel great during that. I mean, I like the room, but it usually feels a little bit cold. It felt warmer.
Right. So when you do connect with even a small audience, it can feel like a great set.
Yeah.
But then you listen to the tape, and it's like, boy, that's a small audience.
Right. It just is more proof that I think I've said this before. I've had sets where I felt so great, and I came back and had Susan and listened to it with Susan. It didn't sound as like I was having more fun during the set.
Yeah, that's how it usually is.
That happens a lot. Yeah. I think I didn't realize how universal that was.
But I guess my point is that the tape isn't always right as to how it went either, because you can feel the energy in the room. If you lifted the room or didn't,
Yeah.
from where it was before you went on.
No question. And there's a lot of different, there's no real more accurate than anything else, because how you feel about the set isn't really the experience of I hate to make it such a grand statement, but how I feel about my own comedy is not the end all of the comedy. It's like I can't look at myself kind of with my own eyes in a way. Does that make sense? Or is it too precious? Or both?
Yeah, I think you and I are a little different in that you have this sort of position that you can't ever be objective about yourself. That one can't, and I think one can. Yeah,
I think that that argument is an argument is not a really argument I actually believe in. It's more of a general feeling that's an obstacle, is that it is you that you're judging,
right? And
nobody's going to look at you like you would look at you.
No, there's way more baggage, of course.
Yeah,
but
I think you could objectively look at yourself.
But it's like when we were talking about like the movie and stuff. It's like I do think that when I watch myself, there's two conversations. There's one that's the insecure person watching themselves, but there's also the objective writer, producer, director guy watching a performance going, that was effective, that wasn't, that,
Right. And also how the thing is, but the thing is, how it's shot and what's captured on the film too. Because that's the thing, is like you could feel fake, but in the shot they use, like this happened to me a lot. Like oh my God, I hope they don't include this or.
Well, yeah, because every performance is many performances.
There's many performances. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Whatever. Do we have any ETA or on the movie?
No, but he said it's coming. He's happy, and I talked to him the other day, and he said it's, a very high percentage of it is done, and he has a couple of more shots he's got to get, and but he's very happy. He said
it feels like I can't wait to, and that's something that I'm going to very much look forward to seeing.
Yeah, me too.
I don't care, and in fact, I think I'm going to be able to suspend the part of myself that's worried about it at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know that there's nothing I can do about anything, and I wanted to do it, and I had fun, and so.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm intensely curious.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm not. I don't. It's not because I'm so certain I did good.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm not worried. It's just that I've never seen myself acting in a big extended performance before, so I'm intensely curious to see if I pulled it off, or,
that's the exciting,
or if he pulled it off with what I gave him,
Well, that's the exciting part when I watched that one scene about when you were doing the seminar.
Yeah.
It's like, it really looked great, and I wasn't expecting it to look great. I didn't know how it would be.
Right.
But it really worked. It really worked on that kind of like Scientology level.
Right.
Of someone just selling bullshit.
Yeah.
And Johnny, two takes.
Johnny two takes.
Johnny Fog Machine. So, yeah. So that's all stuff. The main thing is that all we need to do now is to just count our chickens. Don't make any effort to expand the show.
Right.
And just wait to see if that movie's going to change. That's what I want to do.
Right. I think that's the way to play it.
No, I'm going to get my album out now. I have things to do.
Yeah, I'm going to get my album. Now that you're doing one, I have to get mine out.
No. I have to get it at the same. I want to double. I had a double bar mitzvah because I was a baby boomer.
Yeah.
And there were so many Jews born, so I had a double bar mitzvah, which was kind of depressing.
It would be depressing.
I want a double album release party with me and you.
Well, that we could do. That would actually be fun. It would.
Yeah, but that requires. I'm thinking like, who will I be ready? You haven't even recorded yours yet, and I'm adding up. Will yours be ready to go before mine because of my own inertia?
Right. Well, I hope for your sake it's done sooner than mine, but I'm not betting on it.
I wish people could have seen your almost ventriloquist-like performance there. I'll stare you down, motherfucker.
Okay.
I'll say motherfucker on the show.
Really?
I don't care.
While staring.
Yeah, this is the new me.
All right. Well, then we're going to questions.
I think we should go to questions.
Well, we are.
Do you think we have the show now like a fine-tuned, whatever the metaphor would be for a show that was good? A fine-tuned, like a running, like a well-oiled machine or something?
Well, a machine, a fine-tooth comb, something.
No, you go over something with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah.
But we're like a
race car, a Formula One race car.
Oh, God. Now I see why.
Using Formula 3.
We use 89 grade.
Formula 1, Formula 2, whatever it takes. Luke Hawley says, you guys like the Dead. Any thoughts about Jack Straw? Did he cut his buddy down from the gallows, or does he cut him down, meaning he likely killed him for moving too slow when the cops are gaining?
Oh, my God. That I would say Jack Straw is one of the few songs that I haven't, well, that's not true. I do this a lot with songs. I haven't looked into the literal, what it's saying in the song.
Yeah.
But a lot of the Dead songs I have because they're compelling.
Right.
The storyline. I don't know.
Casey Jones was riding that train high on cocaine. I get it.
And also when he says, Charlie told him, the song about Charles Manson is about Charles Manson.
Yeah.
I'm going to scare you up and shoot you. Something like that.
Right.
Mr. Charlie told me so.
But you have no position on Jack Straw.
I love the
Whether
song.
he cut him down or cut him down from the gallows.
Yeah, I never listened. I love the song though. It's like one of my favorite Dead tunes. And you don't like the Dead, or you do like the Dead, or?
I mean, if I had to choose, I'd say I like the Dead, but I don't like them enough to like listen to them or anything.
Right.
Kathy McCarty says,
"Hi, Kathy.
Guys, I guarantee that the silence from Moon Tower isn't a no. It's just their disorganized and leaderless way of running things. Please try them one more time. It's them, not you."
Oh boy, I don't know. I mean, the only thing that I would do, it's up to Josh. The only thing I would do at this point would I'd say have Alex pursue it or something. But I think you said we're done pursuing it. What did we say?
Yeah, I think we decided we're done.
We didn't say that. I just decided for both of us that that's what we decided.
I think that's what you decided.
Oh, okay. So what do you think? To get to that, I just made a mistake. I just made you say something that had nothing to do. What do you think?
I'm like I said, I don't want to fight for it. You know, I do think that you made a real effort and
right.
and didn't get any response from the effort.
Yeah, like three times, like three.
And it wasn't an even I'll get back to you. It
yes.
seems like it was just nothing.
Nothing.
So I don't feel like, that's where, if it was me, I'd be done.
Yeah, and the other thing is, it's like, for whatever reason, it's not happening. I don't feel like.
My apologies to those of you who want to see us in Austin, but
oh yeah, well, we should go to Austin. We say this all the time, but Austin would be a good place to go to on a separate trip.
Sure,
but I don't know.
Well, let's book a week together and we can do a podcast while we're there.
That'd be good. And we have the people claimed is that the home of Farouche?
Yes.
And who else do we see there?
There's isn't.
Do we see Tweet Bahar?
Tweet Bahar from there? Yeah.
Anyway, we have a big following. That's for us. It's a big following.
So yeah, I'm not
Indefatigable. I still don't know if that's the way you pronounce it. How often, when you see a word that you don't know, that you continue not to look it up? I do it almost all the time.
Like what?
Like I want to know where Antwerp is, but I don't look it up.
Belgium.
Thank you. But how much do you? It's like, or a word in the New Yorker, you've heard it many times, but you don't know what it means. I still many times won't look it up.
If I'm reading online, I'll look it up.
Oh, okay, all right. I'll take.
But there aren't that many.
You mean words you don't know?
Exactly.
Well, I knew you were doing a overconfident guy with a noise sound, with a flip sound. I wasn't sure exactly.
Greg Kelly says thoughts on the death of word jazz man Ken Nordine.
Don't know him.
Known in part for Flibbity Jib and Levi's ads.
What was the second one?
Levi's ads.
Oh,
from like 1970 something. There's a man coming to town and he's a Levi. He was like a radio guy who did sort of.
I think I heard that.
He did. Word jazz is what his show was called, and it was poetry and storytelling to music and sort of improvised. Some of it was he did sort of very produced versions too.
How'd you hear about all this?
Just because it's someone that I've heard of over the years, and then I heard an obit the other day too.
Oh, he just died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But cool guy, kind of a forebear to like Joe Franks and people like that too, and who also is dead now.
I can't. That one is still a shock to me. Not shock because I'm not like, let's not get over dramatic because but I was shocked that he died. He seemed younger than me.
Yeah, it's certainly more vital.
I'm beginning to think that this thing about when you die has nothing to do. You could die at any age. That's what I'm starting to believe.
Not 26. Weirdly enough.
Weirdly enough. Look it up, people. Saturday Night Live has not been as good this year. It's not doing that well, although I still love Colin Jost and Michael Che. But
yeah, because they invited you to the party. Is it just that?
Part of it is.
I don't think that they really are warranting this.
I think I overly love them. I think I overly love them because I love everything that they do, and I love when they bring on people. So I'm in the tank.
Okay.
And I think it's like, I know that I've said so many horrible things that I stay in the tank, that now it's important for me to stay in the tank with them and Seth Rogen. It's like, I don't want to cause any more trouble. But I think I do like them, and so I can't watch objectively.
No, but okay. I think it's more the Donald Trump thing. They said they like you, and therefore you like them.
Look, I would not be surprised if you did research on this and you found out it was purely an ego thing.
Dan March says, if you could erase one embarrassing moment from your past, what would it be? And what embarrassing moment would you keep because it was a learning experience?
I can't think. I mean, I'll try.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not going to reveal the most embarrassing experience, which I would probably take off the record because why re-embarrass myself?
I have the same thing that I wouldn't.
But the one embarrassing experience that I would keep would be probably Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, that makes sense.
My exit from that show was embarrassing at the time. But I'm glad it went down as it did because I needed those adjustments in several ways, and I needed this sort of toughness it gave me too.
Wow. Well, then I have to come up with. I'm not going to reveal the one that I would still, because the whole point of it is that you don't. You have to have something if you don't want to say you did. I mean, I didn't kill a man. If that's what you're worried about.
There's plenty of stupid little things that haunt me for no reason that I've done, but why waste a wish on that?
Right, and it's hard for me because most of my life because I don't remember things. So when in therapy, I'm trying to remember things and take the shame out of them.
Right,
is what I'm normally trying to do. But I'm trying to think if I have something like okay.
If you had a get out of shame free card.
I think the thing that I'm most embarrassed. Okay, here's the thing I'm most embarrassed about doing professionally.
Okay,
was dressing up as this really did bother me emotionally and affect me. I dressed up like an inflated globe for Comedy Central.
Yeah,
to protest the OJ. It was like a Just Say No J. It was protesting the coverage of the OJ trial.
Right.
I felt embarrassed doing it though, and I felt like. I think I've told you there was that one Channel 2 news guy who Jim somebody, I don't remember. He came by and gave me a look like
Jim Hill.
It may be Jim Hill, but he gave me a look like that. He may not have even been thinking it, but I filled it all in like, oh God, how this? What a horrible gig this is. And so I was very broke and I needed the money, but I felt terrible about being at that trial in an outfit. Yeah,
no, I could see how no good feeling could come from that experience, for sure.
It was terrible. Well, it wasn't as bad.
What, and quit show business?
Well, I mean, I did learn that there are those big outfits, there is, there's kind of air conditioning in the, like you get air inside of it.
Yeah.
So it's not as uncomfortable as you would think. But I took the gig thinking it was, I think I told you this before too. I thought I was going to wear like a glove. I don't know. The thing was, I've never been good ever at being in situations where I'm unwanted. That's the thing. Like when I sold door to door, I never got, after 2 years of it, I'm sure it was good for me on some level, but I never got to the point where I felt good doing it. It always felt awful every day I did it. And in position, and it was bothering people. And it was inappropriate. I never got past that feeling with it.
Yeah, I think we've explored our shame.
Yeah, I guess if you didn't move it on, I just keep going, right? And then there was the time. I was the mushroom in the play.
Teresa D. Lee, a.k.a. Euphoria Fish.
Oh, I love that name.
Have you seen Velvet Buzzsaw? I haven't. Have you seen it on Netflix? I think it's on Netflix. Velvet Buzzsaw?
No. I want to now.
It's a sort of horror movie art world spoof combo thing. And then she goes on to ask, do you agree with me that the violent gore gets in the way of the art world snark that is the true comedic fun in the movie? Do you like art world jokes from real fine artists like Banksy, Miranda July, or Joe Brainerd?
I like that movie Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Yeah, I did too.
I like Banksy a lot.
Yeah.
And I know that it's like, well, who doesn't? In a way, it sounds like I'm being. I like his attitude. I like his whole thing. His whole thing. But that's not the question, is it?
No, it was about the movie that we hadn't seen. So at least you can make something out of it.
Oh, Velvet. Well, I don't like gore. I don't like even Al Gore at this point. But I don't like complete gore.
Yeah. Well, then you probably won't like a movie called Velvet Buzzsaw.
Yeah. And I don't want anything with torture. Nobody recommend anything that has torture scenes.
Dave wants to know, do you like the theme to Moon 02? I think it's good. Moon 02. That's all I really remember about that movie, quite honestly, is the theme song.
I don't know what the movie is.
It was a Mystery Science Theater movie when I was around. And it was a 60s space action.
And it was
movie.
pretty bad?
Pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Not bottom,
good bad.
Not bottom shelf. It was watchable bad.
Well, what do you call bottom
my
shelf?
record.
Oh, what do you call bottom shelf? Like Plan 9 or something?
No, even Plan 9 has charm to it. There's movies that are as bad as Plan 9, but they have no life to them. There's no, they were not exercises of passion by anyone,
right. Then it's just boring.
Then it's just boring, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of movies, obviously, you can't do because they are just boring.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a genius. My insight into other people's things.
I think Moon 02 is also the one episode that I was on that I don't have a DVD copy of.
What are you talking about? What do you mean? You have a master list of your... How'd you get DVD copies of everything? You bought them?
Because Shout Factory releases them.
Oh!
Sends them to me.
Bing, bang, boom. Why they never released that one?
No, they did release it. I just didn't get that one.
Oh, all right.
I have like a giant box of unwatched MST episodes upstairs, which will never be watched.
It is sometimes hard to watch things.
Yeah, especially shows that you left.
Right, right.
Mark Thompson says, did either of you ever make a mixtape on an 8-track cassette?
No.
Were 8 tracks recordable by consumers?
Not a home version of them.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I'm sure they were recordable. I mean, I don't want to, but not that the consumer could have.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, no. But we made, I used, wait a second. He's not talking about.
He's talking about an 8-track tape.
Okay. Because I had 4 tracks on a regular cassette tape.
Sure. Different thing.
Not what he's talking about.
Not what he's talking about, sir.
Cassettes.
Extremely legal and incredibly cool, says Tesha94. Was the problem with getting dug with high that it went too well? Because I loved it. Also, someone needs to make a thought spiral Discord to give Andy something else to not completely understand. Love you guys. You have made my week 93 weeks going.
Oh, that's nice. I don't get that Discord part.
I don't either. It's a gap in our knowledge, and we're not looking it up.
Well, here's the thing. I don't have any idea what that show is like to either do or to watch. And the whole day was weird. And the only reason why I remember it is because of OCD, which is an illness that makes me go over the same day over and over again. But I don't want people to think I go over that day any more than I go over everything.
No, I think I was the one who came out with more beefs than you from that day. I mean, we had the whole fight thing in the car, but I was the one complaining about your behavior. But... and I absolutely don't think, I don't think it was a disaster. I didn't think so then either, but I just was annoyed by the dynamic that was there on stage,
Yes.
And it wasn't just you, but that was the central theme was everyone's waiting for Andy to stop talking, and he didn't.
Well...
but Andy talking is funny. Don't get me wrong.
Right, and I'm not. I've done enough apologies and excuses. I've actually taped a couple of director's cuts
of your apology reel.
Yeah, and I proved to people, no, I was listening here. No, and I also I doctor the tape,
right.
And I leave more.
Well, but the other thing that I have to admit is that it's me protecting my ego by accusing you of certain behavior too, I mean, ultimately my beef is how did I look? So I can't exactly feel good about the whole thing either,
Well, I think the reason why most duos end up either killing themselves or not talking for 40 years, it's not easy to perform in a duo. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like when I'm here doing the podcast that I'm like doing a Cirque du Soleil stunt. I don't mean it like that.
No, this is a conversation more than a performance.
Right.
It's a slightly juiced conversation for entertainment's sake, but...
And also the point is that we literally aren't saying, tune into us, it's live, 2 straight hours, whatever we say, we take out things that are, that are horrible or not horrible, but we do. There's editing involved,
right?
So, but when you're doing a live, when we're taking what we're doing, which we wouldn't even, it's not an act.
Right.
and then we're going on somebody else's thing. I just think we need, I think the more we do it, the more it'll be
the end of
fun.
us. Oh, sorry, you went a different way.
Well, no, for example, just I know now, like if I was in a club with you, right?
Yeah.
If I knew even adjusted where I don't look at the crowd, that would help me.
Right. Or just split your energy at least.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, those things are like, we did a live show way before we did even show that long, it seemed, right?
The first one at Acme?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's, years from now when they do the history of this and when CNN runs the...
On Dateline.
I know I've said this before, Josh, but this fucking CNN ruining every single topic. The 80s, fashion, it's like
News.
News. I hated Reagan. I mean, I hated the Reagan years.
Yeah.
Why do I want to watch a documentary about the Reagan years? It's torture. It's a torturous thing that they're bringing up our goddamn history, just telling you what it was as if you have to experience it again.
I recommend you don't watch.
Okay, thanks. They're still playing Anthony Bourdain.
I know. That makes me mad. M. Ledsome says, hey guys, how baked was Andy last time? Loving the show as ever. J. Elvis, you're a patient man.
Well, I remember being tired.
Yeah.
Was it last week?
I think that's what she's referring to.
Why would I have been more unusually tired?
Let's just say he was half-baked.
Yeah, half-baked, yeah. I don't smoke pot anymore, if that's what you're referring to. Pot? Oh, I have some familiarity with it.
Michelle
he is a patient man.
I am a patient man.
Yeah.
Michelle Wisecarver.
Hi, Michelle Wisecarver.
I turned 50 on Thursday.
Are you kidding me?
Happy birthday, Michelle Wisecarver.
Wow. Happy birthday.
And man, that's old, let me just say. From where I'm sitting.
You're younger than Michelle Wisecarver?
I am.
I can't believe it.
I would have thought I was older.
I would have thought she was 30, so I don't know. Everybody to me is 30. That's what I think everybody is.
Well, first of all, you have to, if it's a Mystery Science Theater fan, you have to add 30 years to whatever age, because that's how old the show is. Michelle Wisecarver, she turns 50 on Thursday. Guys, shrooms or acid? It'll be bourbon, but I still want to know which one you guys recommend.
It'll be, she's not going to do it.
Well, I think she'll, bourbon's guaranteed.
Well, I could talk about this for 7 hours. Mushrooms are very unpredictable, so I probably would prefer acid, but I would prefer probably neither now because I think it's a young person's game in a way. But I would like to try microdosing.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that.
You shouldn't. You really shouldn't. I'm very serious about that.
You know what I love? I love instant opinions that are probably right. I wouldn't if I were you.
Yes.
Well, people like ketamine, all these things sound interesting to me.
Ketamine, maybe. No, don't do the microdosing, though.
What have you heard?
I've heard you.
Well, now, what would you do? What would you choose between shrooms and acid?
I don't know. Let's see. She's in Ohio, I think. So I'm a little worried about the acid in Ohio.
The quality of it or just the experience of it?
The quality of it. I mean, the experience of it, I'm sure she's surrounded by cool people.
Right.
But shrooms, I know there's plenty of cow shit in Ohio. That's all you need to grow.
I never thought about it that way. Wow. So you're thinking about it just in the health thing that who knows if it would be acid you'd be taking.
Exactly. Also, I've never taken acid, so I don't have a frame of reference.
I've taken enough for both of us.
It sounds that way.
Yeah, I've taken a lot of acid. The thing is like currently I'm not taking these things, so I should think of me as a hero.
Okay,
I did take a lot.
Take me a moment.
I did take a lot of acid back in the day and enjoyed it. I loved it in college.
Yeah.
Holy moly! And I'm not recommending. Do I have to have what's it called when you
disclaimer?
Yeah. I'm not saying kids take it.
You seem like you are, because you said it's great, but it's not for old people. So what else could you be saying?
Yeah, it's only for young kids. Oh, God, that really is a horrible endorsement.
Yes.
You know, is your mind not completely set? Do you have a lot of emotional problems? Are you going through your adolescent years? Try acid.
Shannon Norman says, since John Wayne has officially been canceled 40 years after his death, which other dead celebrities should also be posthumously canceled? Hopefully someone can finally take Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. down a few pegs.
Well, I don't even understand the premise. What's happened is John Wayne was
trending all day today because someone discovered his 1971 Playboy interview in which he comes off as a racist, homophobic dick that he was.
Oh, I didn't know he was so...
And so now everyone is like, a whole new generation has discovered that he was a conservative racist dick. And now they're outraged.
Oh,
like he's the worst person ever.
That's so weird because I don't remember it when it happened. I remember having negative opinion of him.
Yeah.
In general because of the way he was with Vietnam, but I don't remember that interview being like.
Because in its time it wasn't that. It was 1971, so. Saying homophobic and questionable racist things wasn't that unusual.
Yeah, because they like I told you when I watched the old Tonight shows, there's so much homophobic material in there.
Yeah,
it's like it's so much a part of society.
But who else has a reputation they don't deserve after death? Would you say?
Well, this got me to thinking about not someone after death, but. You said John Wayne. There's like this. I heard this is like a documentary out about John Wayne Bobbitt.
Right, about Lorena Bobbitt.
Yeah, about how horrible he was, how he abused her.
Yeah,
and that all the. I don't even remember. I just thought it was hacky when comics did jokes.
Right,
but I didn't know that they comics like Howard Stern. Those guys did like horribly mean jokes about her. Back in those days.
It was a meme. It was a fucking living meme for like a year.
And no one knew anything about this other side that I knew.
Yeah, people did. I mean, I knew at the time that, I certainly wasn't sensitive at the time about it, but I did know that it was like as a response to him being abusive.
All I knew was like, it happened during a time period where there was already so much bad comedy so that anything that would happen, there would be such bad comedy about it so quickly, I wouldn't want to know about it. Like
Tonya Harding and
like Tom Kenny used to do a bit about the Boston comedian, like, boy, Michael Jackson, do I really want to hurt you? I want to kill you. All these like stock things that people. Michael Jackson bad? I don't think so. So that I never separated the actual incident. And never really, I think maybe the incident was so frightening to me that I didn't want to really even know more about it.
Right.
So I don't think I ever really knew anything. So the documentary sounds interesting. Anyway, is this somebody who doesn't deserve a bad reputation?
Doesn't deserve a good reputation.
But has one? Who would you go with?
I don't know. I don't want to cancel anybody.
Yeah. Walter Brennan comes to mind about a guy who I've heard was so amazingly racist.
Yeah.
That if he was that racist, I don't think I would. It does affect me. Like when I think about him, it for some reason it's not like I can't watch movies he's in. But when you think of, it's like when you think about that, it has to kind of affect when someone turns out to be a major league.
There is, but there's just this. The issue to me about all this is just this, as he said. People get canceled now. That whole thing of like, you completely.
Oh, yeah.
You make someone's racism the only characteristic about them that matters. And I don't think that one needs to forgive racism.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a different time when people knew that John Wayne was racist. And yet he was still a part of society.
Yeah. No, I don't think. Right.
There isn't we have to correct him, we have to teach him step to any of this anymore. There's just fuck him.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't feel good. There's something to that in some ways too.
Yeah.
Because I think people get forgiven too easily for bad things.
Yes.
But it's a noticeable change.
And with John Wayne, you mean, or
no, just in general.
I think it's
the need to instantly ostracize,
right,
rather than discuss.
Yes, and I don't think it. Look, to me, if someone hated John Wayne because he was racist, I wouldn't argue with them over it.
Right.
It's more like.
But it's just. I mean, in the case of this thing today, it's just silliness.
Yes.
Because these people are acting like he's a public threat when he died fucking 30 years ago.
Well, that's definitely true. I actually have the opposite opinion of him. I hated him growing up because I was so against the Vietnam War, and he was like a joke to me.
Right.
And now I have more of an appreciation because I think he was a good actor. I mean, I like some of the movies he was in.
You just watch Liberty Valance.
Right. That's right. And the point is like this thing where their art is good, and the more you find out about them, there's only so far you can go with that. If you keep giving me information about a specific artist, and then you go, oh, well, did you know that he chopped up people and kept them in the freezer? There will be a point when you will be able to affect my opinion about those people.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but, and there's no rules about...
I've passed the tipping point with Bill Cosby.
Yes, exactly. And I don't care about... It's like...
And there's no one who I could, who I, at one point in my life, loved more, the distance between where I was with him then and now is as great as with any other performer, probably.
Well, that's the only thing. I don't want to say I saw through him, but I always had a problem with his arrogance.
Well, I did later, but when I was a kid listening to his albums,
yeah, he was great. It was
like
great.
him at the top of his stand-up game was as good as stand-up got, I think.
I even loved the Cosby Show. I don't think I'd love it now. I don't think it holds up, but I loved it.
But I think. Anything beyond, that era, once the Cosby Show happened, is when he started to become a arrogant, unpalatable prick for the most part. He probably was before that.
But we didn't, yeah.
But that's when he felt like he had the platform to see himself as a civil rights figure.
Well, that's
almost,
the thing. That's the thing that's like unbelievable about a guy like that who's so fucked up and was moralizing. It's just almost like that doesn't have to be part of the equation, but the fact that he is so arrogant and thinks he's makes it so much it's bad on every level, but just like I always hated that arrogance in him before we knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Because he would be upset with people cursing. He'd yell at Richard Pryor for cursing.
Right.
That's what he was like, trying to moralize. Because Eddie Murphy talks about that.
Right.
In that.
All the people laughing?
Do they
tell Bill to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck
up. And so, I don't know. Yeah. We covered it.
Jim Meehan wants to know, the main character in The Wonder Years was born the same year as Andy, and one of the co-creators was from Long Island. Andy, did you find it reflected your childhood? And if so, did you find the future you narration intrusive during private moments?
I love that show. That show really resonated with me. I really loved it, but I never thought about was it based on, did he grow up when I grew up? I don't remember now. Like when he.
Yes, the show reflects your era.
Okay, yeah. But the problem with my narration voice is that it's...
You're stupid. Somebody kill me. Blah, blah, blah.
Wait. You're stupid. Wait a second. Am I telling myself I'm stupid?
Yes.
I'm stupid.
You're telling the kid version of you.
Oh, nice going. I'm surprised you didn't die. That should have taught you. Yeah, my version of that show wouldn't be as charming.
The self-sabotage years.
That was a good show. And I got to work with Fred Savage, too.
I got to work with Allie Mills in The Fiddling Horse.
Oh, I forgot you did. And was that fun?
It was. I didn't actually have a scene with her, but I was there with her while she was working.
She's delightful.
Paula had all the scenes with her. She was Paula's nemesis in the movie.
Right.
And she played a giant bitch, and she did a good job.
She's a mean character in that movie, right? She's like she represents the high society ladies.
Yes. Terry Caulfield says, at what point did God start to get annoyed at Huell Hauser for commenting how everything in heaven is so fantastic?
You mean his guy? Is that what you? How is he? Is he annoying in heaven?
I can't. How could you say I'm annoying? Just because I'm commenting on every cloud formation, every piece of infinite being, every piece of light, every piece of infinite happiness, it's all fantastic. So it's as if God planned this.
So you're in purgatory. Wow, that's crap. That's fantastic.
You are in the very definition of nothingness. That is amazing.
How hot is hell down here? So you're telling me?
What are you implying?
Now you're the devil. Now, how long have you been always been the devil, or is that?
Are you literally the Prince of Darkness, or is that an honorary title?
So this is the netherworld. It's fantastic.
Did you have change for the River Styx guy?
You're a two-headed lion, Cerberus. That was good.
That was quite a run.
Did you mind me chiming in?
No, I didn't. Okay, it was good.
It's the first time.
I lost direction, and you came in.
And I thought that purgatory line would save the bit.
Yeah, you did. You're a hero once again. Stand By Your Man says, I'm still way back on Test Show 91, which I paused to watch The Swimmer before you start talking about it. But I have to say, I could watch a series of Andy's adventures in pot shops, or a show about Andy pitching this show around town.
I'm into it. I would love to have a pot-oriented show.
You do?
This.
Yes.
We do. If I was left to my own druthers, which I don't even know what that word means, I would probably go further in the pot direction in terms of sponsors.
If I had my druthers, I'd rather have my druthers than anything else I know. If you'd druther hustle, accumulating muscle, I'd rather watch daisies grow.
Did you just come up with that?
Yeah.
What is that from?
It's from the Little Abner musical.
Oh, my God. How would that... Have you seen it, even?
No, I auditioned for it in high school, and then they decided not to do it, but I had to sing that song.
Why did they decide not to do it? For politically incorrect reasons, or was it boring?
I think because it sucked.
Who wrote Little Abner?
The comic strip or the Al Cap?
Oh, yeah. He was kind of a nasty guy.
He was a douche, yeah.
Yeah, I saw him in that.
He can be on that shit list. He can be on that posthumous shit list.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Al Cap. But was Little Abner good?
It was beloved by many, but it's not funny, really.
Is it about...
From what I've seen.
It's not... I don't even know what it's about. Is there a Blondie in it? No, that's Blondie.
Yeah. No, Sadie Hawkins is in it. So
did he fancy himself as
Dog Patch? It's hillbilly. It's hillbilly humor.
Oh God! And that guy's fancied himself as an intellectual. He hated John Lennon.
Boy, did he in that movie!
That was terrible. He was a terrible man.
He was.
What is that movie?
Imagine, I think.
Yeah.
Or Imagine John Lennon, I think it was called.
It's a great movie.
Edhead says, Andy, you should really get a dog. They can help with OCD by reducing anxiety and create distractions as well as signal you during a flare-up.
Wow, what does that mean, signal during a flare-up? I don't know what that means. That's like a cool thing. Like if you're having panic or something?
Yeah, some dogs are trained to tune into that.
Wow. Yeah. I think Susan would be happy if I had one, too. But we travel is our problem. Like,
you don't travel for long, though. You just got to find a place where you can board it reliably. Or find it.
Do you have someplace like that?
Yeah, there's a place where we drop off the dogs happily.
But some people can't drop their dogs off, I've heard.
No, but there's people who dog sit, too.
On the nose. Yeah, it'll happen.
And if you get a good dog, you can stash it here sometimes. But it has to be a good dog.
Are you worried about my dog parenting skills?
I'm worried you're going to get a dog and I'm going to end up adopting it.
No, that wouldn't happen.
Kirk says, no question, I just wanted to say I really enjoy the show. Oh, and Josh, you killed me picking on Andy's not too spicy snacks.
Is it spicy? It's not too spicy, is it? No.
I went around all of fucking Louisiana with you going, is this spicy? Is this going to be spicy? Oh, yeah, it's not spicy. Oh, no, this is regular. Is it, but it was regular spicy? Oh, no, it's just regular. It's, it's just like jambalaya. That's what we do. But is it spicy? Can I taste some? Because it might be spicy.
Oh, that is good.
What's in the etouffee?
I would
Is
say
it spicy?
We go through this on DoorDash every night.
Really?
Yeah, because
Is there a pepper by it, honey? Is there a pepper by that item?
there are so many things. There are certain restaurants that are off the list because they're too spicy.
Yeah. Indian food, not happening.
Not for me. Susan would like it. How often do you have Indian food?
I had it this week.
Oh.
But it had been probably a couple months.
And did you love it?
I don't love it just because I always feel so fucking full from it.
Oh.
It's a little too filling. It's too dense almost.
I like chicken
but
tikka.
I like chicken tikka, but that's not my favorite thing.
I know. That's like what you have when I don't like curries that much when it's all said and done. I like Thai curries.
Yeah. I like both.
I like both.
Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yoshi Yamamoto. Yoshi Yamamoto.
Do you guys ever lose new jokes in your head? Sometimes I run into problems transcribing jokes from brain to pad because I'll lose a word or change the sentence in a way that stiffens or ruins the joke.
Happens to me all the time, but I think to me it's a mental trick I do with myself. But certainly writing it down as soon as you come up with it is the best way to go.
Yeah. But it's not it doesn't work until you can say it out loud.
Yeah.
Sometimes the rhythm of something in your head is just there because it,
Cracked you up in your head.
it cracks you up in your head, but you hadn't fully articulated it because your brain can fill in those gaps.
The other thing that took me a long time to realize is that many times if I think something is funny, ultimately I have come to the conclusion it's not. I used to be very defensive of, I like it in a way, but now I can see how a lot of things, I'm more comfortable with that. You thought it was funny and you never got it.
You were wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, it's not the end of the world.
Right. No, some things are a dead end.
Right.
Or some thoughts, the thing that's funny to you is too deep in your head to share it.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I go through a lot is when I'm thinking about shooting something, if I've thought about shooting a pilot or whatever, like bits that are, I realize at the end of the day are no more funny acted out than described. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I always think of like, when I would think of things to film, am I getting something more out of this than just the joke would have? I don't know, I'm not explaining that well, but
like sketches versus...
Yeah, like I would turn things into, like I would turn, like I have that character I did in that one pilot thing where it's like a Simon Cowell guy at the Antique Roadshow.
Right.
Okay, so that thing could be funny if I introduced it in my act and did it, but that thing was funnier with me doing it in a actual film thing, working off of someone. But a lot of times, acting it out doesn't necessarily make it funnier, necessarily.
Right.
And I don't know why I brought that up or how it applies.
Well, we were talking about losing something in the translation.
Yes.
Idea. It's two different bits. Like if you were to talk about how it would be great if Simon Cowell did Antique Roadshow, you'd give a 2-sentence example of that and move on if it was just a bit, whereas acting it out, you can find 3 or 4 minutes worth of shit.
And so many times with stand-up, I'm actually happy that I don't have to film it that I can convey something.
Yeah, and it's, and most of the time it goes the other way, where it's better in its most distilled form than it is in its fully expanded form.
Yeah, well, like I'm not convinced that there needs to be an Andy Kindler show.
I don't think anyone is convinced of that. Nick Cosset says, "Good evening, sirs. When was the last time you wore jeans? And to touch on a broader question, slacks versus jeans. Well, I'm wearing jeans right now.
I wear jeans almost exclusively.
As do I.
I wear Levi, different types of Levi's.
Yeah.
I don't like cotton Dockers.
No, I don't really very much either.
And I haven't found another type of pant that I enjoy as much as jeans. But I do feel that it's boring sometimes, my pant choices, or men in general's choices.
Yeah.
You have the parachute, you have the flares, right. You have the bell bottoms,
you have the lederhosen.
Yeah,
yeah. It's slim,
just so
slim pickings. Guy Incognito says, "Fellas, when you're not listening back to all 93 test shows, what other podcasts do you enjoy in your off time?"
Well,
we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, Love and Radio is my the one that I would very much recommend to people, and of course, I listen to a lot of true crime things too. What do you like? Have you recommended anything to anyone?
No. What have I've been listening to Revolutions lately, which is all about historical revolutions.
That I would who's the guy? Is it a woman or a guy?
It's a guy. I can't remember his name.
He's not the hardcore history guy, though, right? Because that guy is hard for me to listen to. Dan Carlin?
No, I don't think it is.
I want to get some more of these, like some of the legal show, like the not Tweet Bahar, but Preet Bahar is supposed to have.
Yeah,
a good show.
When do you have the time? When do you have the time for all that?
Oh, I have the time.
Wow. No, I listen to This American Life in bed once a week, and then I've been listening to this Revolutions. But like a good podcast to me is the one that makes me fall asleep in 10 minutes.
Yeah, so you're not going to be, people aren't going to be flocking to you.
No.
For your podcast choices.
I'm not.
I love I love anything Crime Town. I love all these things. But I also binge listen, and then it just gets weird after a while. But I love the idea when there's nothing better when I'm food shopping or just walking around than binge listening to podcasts. It makes me so happy.
But I do find myself sort of veering more towards the NPR-y kind of sounding things than I do to real personality-driven.
That makes sense. It's hard to listen to a comedy. Yeah, I know what you mean. Because why is that in your case?
One, because I get sick of people pretty easily, and two, I think I like learning things. I like the nutrition of information.
So you wouldn't recommend our podcast then?
No, I don't think I would. But I don't listen to podcasts like ours.
Right.
Like there is one.
Good luck, ladies.
So yeah, no, I'm kind of I'm really a sort of traitor to our art form.
Well, I will continually come in with new things that interest me. I love Dirty John. Which became a TV show. I got to listen to as a podcast, and that was great. The LA Times one.
Yeah.
But that's again. I keep going back to crime.
You love the crime.
Let's open it up.
You like crime way more than me.
And Trump stuff. I like the various Trump shows.
What's weird though is that you love crime. You're totally desensitized to it by all these things, and yet you're much more afraid of crime than I am.
Absolutely. I'm afraid of torture.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason.
That's true. Life is crazy.
I'm not going to walk home and listen to a crime podcast.
No, you're not going to walk home.
I know.
Because it's dark and something spicy might jump out at me.
At Clay T1000 says
something spicy.
At Clay T1000 says, I hate winter and I have been considering buying a houseboat somewhere mild and sandy. Is this terrible idea not so bad after all? It's a pretty terrible idea.
Why is it a bad idea?
Because it's boat ownership.
Yeah, boat ownership. I was thinking about that today because I was walking around. I saw someone had a boat in their driveway. It seems like who can afford it?
I just feel like you can rent a boat.
Yes.
A lot of weeks.
Right.
Before you reach the pain in the ass and expense of owning a boat.
There's so many things that you can see it coming like
especially a houseboat where it's like, there's no performance involved with a houseboat.
Well, what was it? Does he live in the cold?
I would say so. I'm just inferring that.
Well, that's a tough one. I support it though. Alan Watts lives in a houseboat.
I do not. I support renting one. Rent one for an extended period. If you love it so much and feel like this is it,
yes,
then consider it. But buy used.
And in general, I don't want anybody to get the idea wrong. I don't like boats.
No, you don't?
Not that much.
Yeah.
I was on a sailboat with my uncle when I was a kid. Those were fun. But I don't like the idea of that now you're on the water going around.
Yeah, that's kind of prohibitive with a boat.
Yeah, I mean, if I wanted like a bathroom that's attached.
I grew up with that. So
you did?
I did. We had a sailboat growing up.
Oh.
And now my brother owns a sailboat.
And is it an expensive hobby?
It's a fairly expensive hobby, but it wasn't that expensive. If you're using it a lot, you amortize the price a lot by the money you're not spending to do other things with your family.
Oh, does he take advantage of it?
Yeah, they use it a lot. Yeah.
Well, it's like a big boat then.
It's like a 20-some footer.
And does he know how to? Does that have a motor? It has to.
It does, but you don't use it much.
Yeah,
because it's a sailboat.
But he just goes out and he goes around the little areas, and
he's on a big lake.
It's beautiful up there too. Kind of.
Yeah, it's Minnesota.
You know what?
Lake, trees.
I just had your brother in Seattle for some reason.
Yeah, Minnesota. Right where you met him.
Yeah, it's not that I don't have a good memory. It's that I'm very self-involved.
That's true. Randy Denton says, hello, Andy Kindler. Can you explain this entry on your IMDb page? And it's the pitch off with Doug Benson.
The pitch off.
It's called.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. That was fun.
Was there a pilot?
It wasn't a pilot. I think maybe it was a pilot. I thought.
Oh, it says you're a guest on it.
Yeah, it was. You come in and you pitch a show to him.
Oh, okay.
And that was fun.
Gotcha.
I don't know what happened.
So there you go. That's the explanation. Was it on Comedy Central?
Yeah, but I can't remember how many they made or whether it was only a pilot.
Okay, maybe you were just one of the pilot comics.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I've been involved in pilots before. And if you have me involved in the pilot, it's probably not going to go.
Right, because it means you couldn't get a lot
Someone
of people.
Real.
A lot of people.
A big person.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get tired of my self-deprecation only because I feel like it's like I'm hitting it's like I'm hitting the same well.
Well, I'll tag in and deprecate you. Don't worry.
Good.
Dana Schwartz says, if every Thought Spiral subscriber got 2 friends to also subscribe, this could be the greatest Ponzi scheme ever. Get off your butts.
I think it's good, but it's not so much a Ponzi scheme as a pyramid scandal. I don't like those things, though. I don't do any of those things where I send these things. I still get them every once in a while, right?
What?
I send this to 8 people.
Yeah, I never do that. Chain letters. W. Hoove J. Thought Spiral. Is it weird that I put you guys on every night to go to sleep? See?
That makes
we
me
are
happy.
that podcast for someone. I guess Josh trying to talk Andy off a ledge is my Ambien.
That's very cool. It makes me want to do a whole series of shows just so that you can have that.
Seth Dick III. I'm listening to Asia. Was Foster Brooks a Steely Dan fan?
Do you think that we're going to end up recording Yule Hauser and stuff like that for money? Like all those things people do for money?
Learn to work the saxophone, the horn.
But you said the whole thing is a problem.
They call me Deacon Brr. Deacon Brr.
They call me a pastor.
Oh, yeah, you really got the template.
Yeah.
All right. Eric Fell says, I'm not sure if this is going to fix the snack predicament you mentioned on Thought Spiral, but this jar of high chews are in the JFL Northwest Hospitality Suite. Andy just lit up like a candle.
Wait a second.
There's a picture of them right here.
Oh, my God. I'm going to be... Well, thank you.
And JFL Northwest liked it, that tweet as well.
Very good.
All right.
Well, so he's working there.
I would say.
That's beautiful. What's his name?
Eric Fell.
I think I know Eric Fell. Eric
Fell.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Eric.
Eric fell in love with you, and I promised to be true. That's it.
I think that's
all
enough.
the questions.
I think that's enough.
I think it's way more than enough, and I got to edit this tomorrow because Alex is going out of town. So
where are you going?
Alex is going out of town. I'm going out of town every other week for the next 6 weeks.
Oh, Alex has stuff going on.
Yes. So now he's putting the screws on me to get this done quicker. I'm off to Minneapolis next week. If you're in Minneapolis this week, I'll be at Acme doing guest sets, working on the album.
On Chad Daniels? With Chad Daniels?
With Pete Lee.
Pete Lee.
Yet another I Need You to Kill alumna.
Please send my regards.
I will. And Chicago.
North Bar.
Big show at North Bar on March 16th. Me, Gruber, Trace, Frank.
That's going to be fun.
I don't even need last names because if you don't know, then it's not applicable. But check that out at North Bar. I believe it's live at North Bar. Is their Twitter? But yeah, that'll be a fun show. March 16th.
That sounds great.
Right after the day after Gruber and I do the master class at Second City.
What is that?
Yes, that's exactly right.
What do you mean? What's happening?
Gruber and I are teaching a master class at the Harold Ramis Film School at Second City.
Are you? That's
the day before.
Why were you burying the lead?
Because it sounded like bragging.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you. It was nice of them to invite us.
Yeah. That's right down the street from Zanies.
That's true, in Lincoln Park.
Second City, and also near Illuminati's.
Ah, good tip.
Well, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun trip.
Do you know how the attendance is on the? We don't know, right?
I don't know, but it's not a big room. We'll do okay.
That's good.
But get your tickets now because it's not a big room.
I don't have a lot of stuff coming up, but I it's like time for me to take stock and
work on your album.
Yeah,
get it out before me
and send the thing to the thing saying Thought Spiral Show. Right?
Thought Spiral Show at gmail.com. That's our email, folks. Zazzle.com/thought_spiral is where our merch is perched.
Well, I'd love to keep going, Josh, but I mean, when you said you had to do something tomorrow, I was like, you know what? I got a lot left in the tank, but if you're willing to call tonight, okay, all right, okay. I mean, leave them wanting more.
They do. I assure you.